Should you count calories or track macros to lose fat? What actually matters, the number or the breakdown? I'm going to break it down simply for you, and I'm going to walk you through how to use a TDEE calculator, find out exactly what you should be eating, whether you're doing a calorie deficit, maintenance, or you're bulking. Let's start with TDEE. What does it even mean? It's total daily energy expenditure. This is the number of calories that your body burns throughout the day. Just by being alive, digesting food, moving your body, working out. Think of it as your daily budget of calories. To lose fat, you need to eat less than your total daily energy expenditure. That puts you in a calorie deficit. I know it's a lot. It's like, what? Where do I start? So to make this very simple, we are going to start on the TDEE calculator. It's free, it's on the internet. I'm gonna walk you through how to use it. Okay, so you're gonna go to Google and go to the TDEE calculator. I just use the main one that they have. Do Imperial if you're in the States. And then I'm just doing a random like female, 30 years old, 100 pounds, 130 pounds, average height, whatever. And then activity level, you're going to want to do what's based off of how many exercises you're doing a week. However, I always underestimate it just to get a proper calorie deficit. And then it's going to show you your maintenance calories, and it's going to show you your average calories for the week. It's going to show you your ideal weight, your BMI score, all of these things. And then towards the bottom, it's going to break down your macronutrients depending on maintenance, cutting, bulking. So it's going to tell you your maintenance level if you want to stay at the weight that you're at. You can break it down into the different like types. Like you can do the moderate carbs if you want to eat carbs but not have a lot, low carbs or higher carb, and then you'll see your protein levels across the board. And then it tells you, hey, this is the 500 calorie deficit, or this is the 500 calorie surplus, and you can always start there or you can go lower if you want. But this is a great tool to start with. So calories matter the most for fat loss. Macros matter the most for how you look, feel, and perform. You can absolutely lose weight on a 1600 calorie deficit eating nothing but junk food. Would I recommend it? No, but you can. You're going to feel terrible though. You're probably not going to perform as well. You are more likely to gain it all back after the calorie deficit. Macros are actually what make this sustainable, and I talk about how I lost weight sustainably in another video. I'll link it down below for you. But the macros really did play a factor. And I talk about in that video how I experimented with myself a lot over the last year and a half to figure out exactly what macro grouping works best for me. Some people do really well on a high carb diet. Some people do really well on a higher fat diet. Ultimately, what you want is to have a good amount of protein, and then figure out what works best for your body in terms of carbs and fat. And again, that's why I say kind of experiment with yourself a little bit, because every body is different. So if you remember on the TDEE calculator that we walked through, it showed you the different mixes of whether or not you want a balanced mix, whether or not you want higher fat or you want higher carbs, all of which have a pretty high level of protein that you want to be hitting. So it just depends. Maybe you want to try higher carb and see how that does. Maybe you want to try higher fat and lower carb and see how that does. Just experiment, figure it out, figure out what works best for you. So what actually matters for fat loss? Figuring out what your calorie deficit actually is on the TDEE calculator that we walked through and that I have linked in the description for you to use. Create a small calorie deficit, obviously, between 250 and 500 calories is kind of the sweet spot for most people. Prioritize your protein, because that is going to help build your muscle as well and promote weight loss. And I would track your progress. If you can. So I didn't talk about it in this video. I can do a whole other video if you're interested in it. Just let me know down below. But One of the apps actually that I have used for the last year now is Macro Factor, and it is one of the best apps. I will tell you this, when I started Macro Factor, I was already kind of losing weight, tracking my calories in another app, calorie deficit in another app. But when I started using Macro Factor, I kid you not, I went from this to this because it was so helpful, and because the way that Macro Factor is built, I'm totally not gonna go into all the engineering details because you can go research it yourself. I'll link Macro Factor down below for you if you're interested in looking at it. We pay, my boyfriend and I pay for the Macro Factor app because it is 12 out of 10 worth it. This is also not at all sponsored, by the way. I just love Macro Factor because of its power. So you tell it what your goal is, whether it's weight loss, maintenance, or bulking. And then you walk through, you know, everything basically that you just did on that free TDEE calculator, your age, your weight, your activity level, etc. And then it builds a program around you. And I would say it takes about a week or two they have like an algorithm built into it. And it takes about a week or two for it to really start to understand your algorithm, or your sort of like process, if you will, your journey. It's helpful if you weigh yourself quite a bit. And so if you're not used to stepping on the scale, get used to it. And then it helps if you track everything. So even if you go on a Saturday out with friends, try your best to track it just so the app sort of knows like, oh, okay, this is how this person fluctuates in weight depending on X, Y, and Z. And then every single week you do a check-in, and it will help you sort of adjust your calories accordingly based off of the plan and the strategy that you have in place. Listen, I highly recommend it. That is how I track progress. That is how I keep track of everything. And it is sort of like this all-in-one app. You can weigh yourself, you can track your food, you can be on a plan with Macro Factor. Whether it's, again, weight loss, maintenance, or bulking. You can take your measurements and keep track of all your measurements. You can do before and after photos. I highly recommend it, or an app like it if you find another one, but I have found that Macro Factor is like one of the best, and it's actually helped me lose the most weight in the last year. So again, I was losing weight beforehand using this other app that I was using to be in a calorie deficit, and I did exactly what I did with you in this video, which is do the TDEE calculator, and then I put it into the other app that I was using. But it was not really until I got on Macro Factor and really dialed it in with Macro Factor that I lost the rest of the weight. And it's very helpful. So I do recommend looking into it if you're interested in that. Again, though, this doesn't have to be overly complicated. If you don't want to start with an app like Macro Factor and you want to do it like me and you want to do the calculator and then use a free app and then maybe amp it up a little bit with Macro Factor or some other various apps, do that. Do what works best for you, do what is going to work best for you, and do what is going to help you be consistent. If you can do the TDEE calculator and you can use another app and you can plug all of that in and you can be consistent and you can hold yourself to that, then do it. I kind of like the coaching aspect of the Macro Factor app because it will have you check in and do all these things, and it's just very helpful when it comes to building that consistency. But again, you do what works best for you at this time in your life. So if this helps, let me know in the comments below. If you like content like this or this resonated with you, please subscribe, join the journey. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. It obviously helps with the algorithm. And if you think a friend needs to hear this, please share it with them so they can gain this information and this resource as well. Let me know in the comments below if you are a brave soul and you want to share what your TDEE is. I feel like this is a community, this is a safe space. We're all sort of here to cheer on one another and help one another in our journeys, whether it be weight loss, maintenance, bulking, whatever journey you're on right now. Let us know in the comments below. Are you tracking your macros or your calories right now? Or is that something that you are not a fan of? Let us know. Let me know. I'm always curious about this. because you could go one way or the other. And if you're interested in any other content on my channel, I have lots of other fitness content. I have a whole fitness playlist. I'll link it below. I talk about how to get started in strength training if you're a beginner. I talk about how I lost weight sustainably in a video as well. All of that is linked for you. Please go have a look. Subscribe, join the journey, join the channel, join the community. I'd love to have you here. And until next time, thank you.